In recent news, Melania Trump has come out and made a brief statement, and we'll listen to it in a second, about her not being involved in anything to do with Epstein.
And Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of.
And listening to this originally, I was like, who this is so random. I thought we were in the middle of World War III. What are we talking about? We're back to Epstein? The psyops are crazy. The psyops are insane. The First Lady has come out and said that she doesn't have anything to do with Epstein. Take her word for it. It is what it is. Nobody seems to know anything about Epstein, it seems. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, she's a supermodel from Europe. Jean-Luc Brunel. The ties with Epstein. We'll get into it in a second because I've written down some notes here for what possibly might be going on. And really what this is, it's a inner friend group. The inner friend group of Donald Trump possibly is like disintegrating over this entire Epstein situation. And it's connected to people that are connected directly to Epstein, but not Trump directly. But we'll whatever. I don't even, they're all connected. I don't even care, man. So 3 days ago, she comes out with her nice balayage, looking bad as can be, makes a little statement about it. Let's listen to it.
Good afternoon. The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach.
All over the world.
To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania.
Go read the book. You want to know about
that? The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together.
So if you're watching this, it's like again, it was random. It's super random. Nobody was talking about this. Nobody said anything about this, but there was one person talking about this. And that is Melania's former best friend, this chick right here. Right? Amanda Angurio, and the ambassador for Trump right here, Paolo Zamboli, attended, and this is a picture from 2019. They're married. They've been married. They were married for about 20 years. Got divorced last year, and the story goes, allegedly, he used his connections within the government to get her deported back to Brazil, where she took their 19-year-old son, and supposedly Zamboli finagled another deal to end up taking the son back to America. So this Amanda chick is literally in Brazil right now, tweeting from Brazil, essentially threatening Melania Trump and the entire Trump establishment, right? These characters right here behind the scenes, right? These people you would never know about, right? Because this is This is what I think the Epstein thing is really about. Like when Trump says that he doesn't want his friends to get in trouble, like these are the friends. Because this is supposedly, and what I read a while ago, this is the person that introduced Melania to Donald Trump, was Zamboli. So let's just read a little article right here from MSN. Obviously, this could be a little skewed. It says, the ex-girlfriend and former modeling agent turned presidential special envoy is threatening Melania Trump with legal action after vowing to tear down the First Lady's corrupt system. Amanda Gurro, a 41-year-old former model from Brazil, threatened to upend the First Lady's life in a series of intensifying posts on X. So she's threatening her on X, and she says, I have nothing left to lose in my life, right? Because her child's gone. You take a woman's child away, you take the millions and lifestyle away. She's sitting in Brazil, probably in some favela somewhere, fuming over this, right? She says on X, I will tear down the entire system. Be careful with me, bitch. This explains this randomness of this video. It explains the randomness. I'll watch it back now. Now watch this back now and imagine that her and her best friend are fighting. Her friend's been kicked out the country and deported by the ex-husband, who was Trump's friend, former modeling agent, and they're fighting. So Melania uses her powers to get up here randomly 3 days ago and just says this randomly. And again, I'm not attacking her. I'm not backing her. I'm DJ Rose. I'm the outside source. I'm trying to piece this together for you so you don't seem so we're all not confused here, because this is confusing.
Me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today.
Who was saying that other than her friend here? Okay, read on. A minute earlier, Ungaro, the former partner of Trump ally Paulo Zamboli, vowed to expose First Lady while invoking the president. I will tear down the corrupt system, even if it's the last thing I do in my life, she says. Ungaro posted, I will go all the way. I am not afraid. And I actually can't even find these posts on X. I think they've been deleted. Maybe, she says, maybe you should be afraid of what I know, of who you are and who your husband is. Again, this is just, this could be a former I'm not a billionaire, I don't know. Ungaro said that she's known her for 20 years. You knew I was detained in ICE. You were present in my life every year of my son's birthday, even sending Secret Service and being the first to congratulate him back in 2016. Something was clearly wrong, but I am not a part of an evil mission involving children. So what do, Melania? You tried to involve me, but you failed because I have character. Newsweek, which could not independently confirm the authenticity of the allegations, reached out to Ungaro, who was deported to Brazil following her arrest on fraud charges last year, and the White House for her comment on Friday. This is where it gets a little interesting. It says Zamboli 56, who is Trump's special envoy for global partnerships, reached out to the top immigration and customs enforcement officials last June to relay that Ungaro was in the country illegally. The man called ICE on his own wife. Why would you call ICE on your own wife? Unless she was gonna like spill the beans on your little Epstein connections, right? And I found this right here under the EpsteinWiki.com, which is, I guess, is the wiki links for Epstein. Amanda Ungaro is a Brazilian former model and survivor identified in recent reportings as connected to the broader Jeffrey Epstein network through modeling, elite circles, and later publicly controversial involving Paulo Zamboli. Paulo Zamboli, who is this guy, man? Her story, let's see, and here are pictures of Trump, Melania. Here is Amanda, and that's Amanda's son, right? It's Christmas pose, little Christmas photos. So these people are all together. This recent reporting states that Paulo Zamboli discovered Amanda Ungaro in Brazil while she was still very young, and later entered into a long-term relationship with her that lasted nearly 2 decades. Accounts of the relationship describe deep personal, financial, and geographic dependency. Some reports say the relationship functioned like a marriage, even though it lacked formal legal status, while reports simply describe her as a former partner and mother of his sons. Zamboli is a critical figure in his biography because he links several worlds at once. He founded ID Models, introduced Melania. Says right here, he introduced Melania Trump to Donald Trump in 1998, according to Law. That's what Melania just said, that they were connected in 98. Here's an article written about Amanda. And again, I don't know. These articles and this stuff, man, it's so skewed. Guys, we're all just reading this nonsense. It says Amanda was 17 when she boarded Jeffrey Epstein's private jet, later known as the Loretta Express, on a flight to Paris to New York in June 2022. Again, Paris, Jean-Luc Brunel. There we go. Allegedly. At the time, the financial sex crimes were not public. The first accusations would emerge in 2005. In an interview with the Oglo, the former model described scenes aboard the aircraft that she said reflected the vulnerability of young girls, many of them as young as 14 to 16. Well, guys, I'm DJ Rojuan. That's the video for this one. Again, we might keep diving into this and keep reporting on this. Again, this was a random video, a random speech she made out of nowhere. You know, like we're all in tune with her and the inner workings of the friendship drama of the Trump cabinet. I have no clue what's going on here. That was a weird video. This whole video right here. I know she says she's not a victim. She doesn't know this. I get it. Cool. You answered it. You may not know something, but somebody else does. Let's get this Paulo Zamboli dude up here, man. What is going on? Nothing about this feels weird. Nothing about this feels natural to me. I don't know. I'm out. Subscribe, like, and on to the next one.